Welcome back to Think and Speak podcast. Today we're talking about something every English learner needs. How to speak naturally about work, school, and home. Daniel, why do so many students struggle with these everyday topics?
Because they memorize vocabulary, Emma, but they don't learn how to build real conversations. They know words like office, homework, or family, but when someone asks, "How's work going?" they freeze.
Exactly. And these are the most common small talk questions in daily life. If you can confidently talk about your job, your studies, and your daily routine at home, your English instantly sounds fluent.
In this episode, we'll show you modern sentence patterns, useful phrases, and real conversational structures that native speakers actually use.
So stay with us until the end because today's lesson can completely change the way you speak English. And if you want more real conversation practice like this, make sure you like this video and comment below. Which topic is hardest for you, work, school, or home? Daniel, let's start with work. When someone asks, "What do you do?" or "How's work going?" many learners give very short or unnatural answers like "I am engineer" or "Work is normal." How can learners give more natural, confident responses when talking about their job? Could you explain useful sentence structures, such as the present simple for routines and the present continuous for current projects? Also, what are some modern phrases people use in professional conversations, like "I'm working on," "I handle," or "I'm in charge of"? Please give detailed examples of how to describe responsibilities, daily tasks, and job satisfaction. And how can learners expand their answers so they don't sound robotic? For example, how do you move from a basic sentence to a more fluent, conversational response? Please break down the grammar and give realistic workplace dialogue examples.
Excellent question, Emma. Talking about work requires two main grammar tools, the present simple and the present continuous. First, we use the present simple for routines and general facts. Structure. Subject plus base verb, add s for he, she, /it. Examples. I work in marketing. I manage a small team. I handle customer support. These sentences describe permanent roles or repeated actions. Now, the present continuous describes temporary or current projects. Structure. Subject plus am / is / are plus verb ing. Examples. I'm working on a new campaign. I'm preparing a report this week. We're developing a new app. Notice the difference. I work in sales. Permanent job. I'm working on a new sales strategy. Temporary project. Now let's improve basic answers. Basic. I am a teacher. Better. I'm a high school teacher, and I teach English literature. Even better. I'm a high school teacher. I mainly teach English literature, and this semester I'm focusing on modern novels. See how we expand with details. Useful professional phrases. I'm responsible for. I'm in charge of. I deal with. My role involves. Example. I'm responsible for managing client accounts. My role involves coordinating between departments. Now let's create a mini dialogue. A. What do you do? B. I work in IT. I handle network security, and right now I'm working on improving our data protection system. That answer sounds natural because it combines present simple and present continuous. To avoid sounding robotic, add opinion or feeling. I really enjoy the creative side of my job. It's challenging, but I'm learning a lot. This adds personality. If someone asks, "How's work going?" instead of "Fine," say, "It's been busy lately. Things have been pretty intense. It's going well. We just launched a new project." Notice the use of the present perfect. It's been busy. Has been. This tense connects past and present. Practice formula. State your role. Describe responsibilities. Mention a current project. Add a feeling. That structure makes your answer fluent and professional.
That was very clear, Daniel. Now let's move to school. Many learners need to talk about their studies, courses, exams, and academic goals. However, they often mix past and present tenses or use very basic vocabulary. For example, they might say, "I study English 3 years," instead of, I have been studying English for 3 years. Could you explain how to talk about academic background using the present perfect and present perfect continuous? Also, how can students describe their major, subjects, assignments, and future plans naturally? What are some useful academic phrases like, I'm majoring in, I'm taking a course in, or I have a deadline coming up? Please include grammar explanations, sentence patterns, and real conversation examples that students can immediately use in school or university discussions.
Great topic, Emma. When talking about school, tense accuracy is essential. Let's start with a common mistake. Incorrect, I study English 3 years. Correct, I have been studying English for 3 years. This uses the present perfect continuous. Structure. Subject plus have slash has been plus verb ing. We use it for actions that started in the past and continue now. Example. I have been studying engineering since 2022. She has been preparing for her exams all week. Now, the present perfect, without continuous, is used for completed experiences. Structure. Subject plus have slash has plus past participle. I have finished my assignment. I have taken 3 online courses. Difference. I have studied English. Experience. I have been studying English. Ongoing action. Now let's talk about majors and courses. I'm majoring in computer science. I'm studying business administration. I'm taking a course in psychology. Notice prepositions. Major in, course in, graduate from, apply for. Example dialogue. A. What are you studying? B. I'm majoring in economics. This semester, I'm taking courses in statistics and international trade. To talk about deadlines. I have a deadline coming up. I need to submit my paper by Friday. I'm working on a group project. Future plans use going to or planning to. I'm planning to apply for a master's degree. I'm going to study abroad next year. Let's expand answers naturally. Basic. I am student. Better. I'm a university student majoring in biology. Advanced. I'm a university student majoring in biology. I've been focusing on environmental science, and I'm currently working on a research project about climate change. Notice layered grammar. Present simple. I'm a student. Present perfect continuous. I've been focusing. Present continuous. I'm working. This variety shows fluency. To sound more conversational, add feelings. It's challenging but rewarding. I'm really passionate about this field. Practice formula for school topics. State your major. Mention current courses. Talk about ongoing projects. Add future goals. When you combine accurate tenses with descriptive vocabulary, your English becomes confident and academic.
Daniel, now let's talk about home life. Many learners can describe their house using simple vocabulary like big, small, or beautiful, but they struggle when they need to talk about daily routines, responsibilities, and family interactions. For example, when someone asks, "What do you usually do at home?" or "Who do you live with?" Students often give very short answers like, "I live with my family," or "I clean my house." How can learners expand their responses and sound more natural? Could you explain how to use the present simple for habits and adverbs of frequency like usually, often, and rarely? Also, how can learners describe household responsibilities and relationships in a conversational way? Please include grammar explanations, sentence structures, and realistic daily life dialogue examples that listeners can practice immediately.
Excellent. Emma. Talking about home life requires strong control of the present simple tense, especially for routines and habits. Structure of present simple. Subject plus base verb. Add s for third person singular. Examples. I live with my parents. She cooks dinner. We share household responsibilities. Now, when describing habits, we often use adverbs of frequency. These include always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, never. Position rule. Adverbs of frequency usually come before the main verb but after the verb, to be. Examples. I usually cook dinner. She often studies at night. I am usually home by 7 p.m. We are rarely late. Now let's expand basic answers. Basic, I live with my family. Expanded, I live with my parents and my younger sister in a small apartment near the city center. Basic, I clean my house. Expanded, I usually clean the house on weekends, and I try to keep my room organized during the week. Notice how we add details, time expressions, and frequency to describe responsibilities. I take care of the groceries. I'm responsible for doing the laundry. We split the chores evenly. Now let's create a natural dialogue. A. Who do you live with? B. I live with 2 roommates. We share the rent and divide the chores. I usually handle the cooking, and they take care of cleaning. This sounds realistic and conversational. You can also use time expressions. After work, I usually relax at home. In the evenings, I spend time with my family. On weekends, we often watch movies together. To add personality, include opinions. I really enjoy spending quiet evenings at home. I prefer staying in rather than going out. Notice the verb pattern. Prefer plus gerund. I prefer staying home. Prefer plus noun. I prefer quiet evenings. To avoid robotic answers, follow this formula. Say who you live with. Describe daily habits. Mention responsibilities. Add feelings or preferences. Example full answer. I live with my husband and our 2 children. During the week, we're usually busy with work and school, but we always have dinner together. I typically handle the cooking, while my husband takes care of the dishes. On weekends, we often spend time outdoors. That structure sounds fluent and natural.
Daniel, for our final question, I'd like to combine everything. In real life, conversations often move naturally between work, school, and home. For example, someone might ask, "How's everything going?" And you need to talk about multiple areas of your life in one answer. How can learners structure a longer response that sounds organized and confident? What linking words or transition phrases can help connect ideas smoothly? Could you explain how to use connectors like besides that, on top of that, as for, and in addition? Please provide grammar explanations and real conversation examples so our listeners can practice giving longer, well-structured answers without sounding confused or repetitive.
That's a powerful final question, Emma. When someone asks, "How's everything going?" they expect a structured but natural response. The key skill here is using linking words, also called connectors. Connectors organize ideas and improve fluency. Common connectors. Besides that. On top of that. In addition. As for. Meanwhile. At the same time. Let's look at structure. When answering a broad question, divide your answer into sections. Work, school, home. Use connectors to move between topics. Example. Work has been pretty busy lately. I'm currently working on a new project, and it's been challenging but exciting. Besides that, I've been taking an online course to improve my skills. As for home life, things are calm. I usually spend my evenings relaxing with my family. Notice how connectors guide the listener. Grammar used here. Present perfect, has been busy. Present continuous, I'm working. Present simple, I usually spend. Another example. School is going well. I'm majoring in psychology, and I have a big exam coming up. On top of that, I've been preparing a group presentation. Meanwhile, at home, I try to maintain a balanced routine. The phrase on top of that adds extra information. As for introduces a new topic. As for my job, it's been stable. To avoid repetition, vary vocabulary. Instead of repeating busy, say hectic, intense, demanding. Example full response. Everything's going well overall. Work has been demanding because we're launching a new product. In addition, I've been mentoring a new colleague. As for my studies, I'm taking an evening class to improve my communication skills. At home, things are peaceful. I usually unwind by reading or watching a series. This answer sounds organized and mature. Important grammar tip: keep consistent tense within each topic unless time changes. Practice formula. Start with a general overview. Describe work or school. Use a connector. Move to home life. End with a feeling. When you master connectors and tense control, your English becomes smooth, confident, and professional.
Daniel, many learners feel confident talking about work, school, or home separately, but they struggle when conversations become more personal. For example, when someone asks, "What's a typical day like for you?" Learners often repeat the same sentence structures or only use the present simple. How can they describe their full daily routine in a more dynamic and engaging way? Could you explain how to combine the present simple, present continuous, and time expressions to create a natural flow? Also, how can learners use sequencing words like first, then, after that, and finally to organize their response? Please give grammar explanations and realistic examples so listeners can clearly understand how to describe a complete day from morning to night in fluent English.
That's a fantastic question, Emma. When someone asks, "What's a typical day like for you?" they expect a structured, chronological answer. The key is combining present simple for routine, present continuous for temporary actions, and sequencing words for clarity. Let's start with the present simple. Structure. Subject plus base verb. I wake up at 7 a.m. I go to work at 9. I finish around 6. We use this tense for habitual actions. Now, to make your answer more engaging, use sequencing connectors. First, then, after that, later, finally. Example. First, I wake up at 7 and check my emails. Then I have breakfast and get ready for work. After that, I commute to the office. This structure creates logical flow. Now let's integrate present continuous for temporary situations. I'm currently working on a major project, so my schedule is a bit busier than usual. Notice the contrast. I work from home. Permanent. I'm working from home this week. Temporary. Add time expressions. In the morning. During the afternoon. In the evening. On weekdays. Full example answer. A typical day for me starts early. First, I wake up around 6:30 and go for a short walk. Then I prepare breakfast and review my schedule. I usually start work at 9 a.m. During the day, I handle meetings and respond to emails. At the moment, I'm working on a long-term project, so I often stay focused on research tasks. After work, I head home and relax for a while. In the evening, I spend time with my family or read a book. Finally, I go to bed around 11. Notice the mix of tenses and connectors. To sound more natural, include adverbs. Usually, normally, occasionally, sometimes. Example. I usually cook dinner, but sometimes I order takeout. To improve fluency, avoid repeating I too much. Combine sentences. After finishing work, I head to the gym, where I spend about an hour exercising. Relative clause, where I spend. Practice tip. Divide your day into 4 parts and describe each using sequencing words. This creates smooth, confident speech.
Daniel, let's explore conversational follow-up questions. In real-life discussions about work, school, and home, conversations don't end with one answer. People often ask follow-up questions like, "How long have you been doing that?" Or, "What do you enjoy most about it?" How can learners prepare for these deeper conversations? Could you explain how to use the present perfect to talk about duration, such as, "I've worked there for 5 years," and how to express preferences using structures like, "What I enjoy most is," or "The thing I like about it is." Please give grammar explanations, useful sentence frames, and realistic dialogue examples so learners can confidently continue conversations without hesitation.
Excellent point, Emma. Real fluency means continuing a conversation, not just answering one question. When someone asks about duration, we use the present perfect. Structure. Subject plus have slash has plus past participle. For duration, we add for or since. For plus period of time. Since plus starting point. Examples. I've worked there for 5 years. I've studied English since 2020. She has lived here for a decade. The present perfect connects past and present. It shows the action started in the past and continues now. Now let's talk about expressing preferences. Structure 1. What I enjoy most is. What I enjoy most about my job is the flexibility. This is a noun clause functioning as the subject. Structure 2. The thing I like about it is. The thing I like about my studies is the practical experience. Notice the pattern. The thing plus relative clause plus is plus noun phrase. To discuss dislikes politely. One challenge is. The most difficult part is. Example dialogue. A. How long have you worked there? B. I've worked there for about 3 years. What I enjoy most is collaborating with my team. One challenge, however, is managing tight deadlines. Notice the connector, however, for contrast. Another example. A. How long have you been studying business? B. I've been studying business since 2021. The thing I like about it is learning how companies operate in real life. Present perfect continuous is also useful. I've been working on this project for 2 months. Structure. Have slash has been plus verb ing. This emphasizes duration and ongoing activity. To continue conversations naturally, follow this formula. Answer the duration question. Add a preference. Mention a challenge or goal. Example full response. I've been living in this city for 6 years. What I enjoy most is the vibrant atmosphere and career opportunities. At the same time, the cost of living can be quite high. This layered answer sounds fluent and mature. When you combine present perfect, noun clauses, and contrast connectors, your English becomes structured, expressive, and confident.